They look happy in the rebound. Here's what psychology says. Seeing your ex looking blissfully happy with someone new can feel like a punch to the gut. They might be posting smiling photos, going on exciting dates, and acting as if the past never even mattered. From the outside, it can seem like they've already moved on, while you're left behind with questions and pain. But here's the truth. Appearances don't always reflect reality. Psychology shows that what looks like happiness in a rebound relationship is often far more complicated. In this video, we'll explore why rebounds happen, what's really going on beneath that cheerful surface, and what it means for your healing. Why rebound relationships appear so happy. At first glance, rebound relationships can look like the perfect remedy for heartbreak. The smiles, the excitement, the constant posts on social media, it all gives the impression of pure joy. And in some ways there is genuine happiness in those early stages. The novelty of a new partner brings a rush of excitement, often called the honeymoon phase. It feels good to have someone new to share experiences with, and for a while the pain of the breakup fades into the background. But there's another layer to it. Social media only shows the highlight reel. Behind the curated images and cheerful captions, there may still be confusion, loneliness, or lingering feelings about the past. Sometimes the happiness that's shown so publicly is just as much about convincing themselves or even you that they're doing fine. In other words, what looks like effortless joy may really be a temporary distraction, not a deep sense of healing. The psychology of emotional coping after breakups. When a relationship ends, the emotional impact can feel overwhelming. Breakups often stir up grief, loneliness, rejection, and even identity loss, because for many their partner became a huge part of their sense of self. How people cope with that loss can vary dramatically, and psychology helps explain why rebound relationships so often come into play. For some, a rebound is like an emotional painkiller. The attention of a new partner provides comfort, intimacy, and validation that temporarily dulls the sting of heartbreak. It doesn't erase the pain, but it gives the brain something new to focus on. Therapists often describe this as using distraction to cope, a way of numbing the immediate shock of loss rather than processing it directly. Others rebound because of the fear of being alone. People with anxious attachment styles, for example, may find singlehood terrifying. The absence of a partner can trigger feelings of abandonment, which can be so uncomfortable that they'll accept almost any new connection just to avoid sitting with that emptiness. In this case, the rebound isn't about love, it's about survival, clinging to the comfort of closeness. On the flip side, people with avoidant attachment often cope differently. Instead of feeling devastated, they may initially experience what psychologists call separation elation. They feel relieved and free right after the breakup, almost like a weight has been lifted. But to maintain that sense of relief and suppress deeper emotions, they might quickly seek out a new partner. The rebound becomes a shield, a way to avoid facing grief, guilt, or vulnerability. There are also those who use rebounds for ego repair. If the breakup left them feeling rejected or unworthy, a new relationship can restore their self-esteem. Having someone new find them attractive or desirable reinforces their value. In some cases, this can even slip into revenge territory, flaunting a new partner to prove, "I'm fine without you." What all of these patterns have in common is that they're coping strategies. They are ways to soothe pain, boost self-image, or run from uncomfortable feelings. And while these strategies may bring temporary relief, they don't replace the deeper work of healing. Psychology makes it clear, rebounds may ease the sting in the moment, but they often delay true recovery if the underlying emotions aren't faced. Attachment styles and their role in rebounds. Attachment styles play a huge role in how people handle breakups and why they might appear so happy in a rebound. These styles, anxious, avoidant, secure, and sometimes mixed, shape the way we connect with others and how we respond when relationships end. For people with anxious attachment, a breakup can feel like falling into an emotional void. The fear of being abandoned is so strong that being single becomes almost unbearable. To soothe that panic, they may rush into a new relationship almost immediately. The rebound gives them reassurance. Someone still wants them, someone is still there. But this comfort is fragile because it's built more on escaping loneliness than on forming a genuine bond. The rebound in this case acts as a life raft against overwhelming fears of rejection. By contrast, those with an avoidant attachment style often handle breakups in the opposite way. They tend to suppress painful emotions and push away vulnerability. Right after a breakup, they may even feel relieved. Psychologists call this separation elation. They enjoy their newfound freedom and independence, but to maintain that illusion, they may jump into a rebound quickly. The new relationship becomes a shield that helps them avoid grief, guilt, or self-reflection. It looks like happiness, but it's often a defense mechanism to keep real emotions buried. People with a secure attachment style usually cope differently. They may still feel sadness and grief, but they're more likely to process those emotions openly, lean on friends or family, and give themselves time before starting something new. Because of this, they're less likely to rush into a rebound and more likely to wait until they're emotionally ready for a genuine relationship. And then there are individuals with mixed or disorganized attachment. They might swing between craving closeness and fearing it. After a breakup, this can result in chaotic rebound behavior, intense relationships that flare up quickly, but just as quickly fall apart. It's also important to note that attachment styles don't just affect the rebounder, they impact the new relationship too. An anxious partner may cling too tightly, while an avoidant one may keep emotional walls up, leaving the new partner confused or unfulfilled. This mismatch often leads to instability and short lifespans for rebounds. In short, rebounds often mirror someone's attachment patterns more than their genuine happiness. What looks like joy is often just a reflection of how they cope with loss, whether that's clinging to someone new, running from vulnerability, or trying to mask their pain. Despite their reputation, rebounds aren't always entirely negative. In the short term, they can provide real emotional relief. A new relationship can bring back feelings of excitement, validation, and normalcy that are often lost after a breakup. For someone struggling with heartbreak, that can feel like a lifeline. Research even shows that people who enter a rebound relationship may recover more quickly in certain ways. They often report higher self-esteem, more confidence in their desirability, and a faster sense of moving on compared to those who stay single for long stretches. In other words, the distraction and affirmation of a new partner can help some people regain stability. This explains why your ex might look genuinely happy at first. They're experiencing the thrill of novelty, the comfort of companionship, and the boost that comes from feeling wanted again. These benefits are real, but psychology also makes clear that they are often temporary. The real test comes when the honeymoon phase fades, and the deeper emotional wounds begin to resurface. Rebound relationships often shine brightly at the start, but as time passes, hidden cracks begin to show. The truth is that many rebounds are built on shaky ground. They start quickly, often before either person has had time to process the past. Without that emotional foundation, the relationship can feel unstable and fragile once the initial excitement fades. One of the biggest challenges is delayed grief. For avoidant individuals, this is especially common. At first, they may seem happy and carefree in their rebound, but psychology shows that repressed emotions have a way of creeping back in. Weeks or months later, the grief and loneliness they thought they escaped often resurface, sometimes even stronger than before. Men in particular tend to experience this delayed crash. Research shows that while women often process emotions earlier, men distract themselves at first and only feel the full weight of loss much later, often while still in a rebound. Another struggle is instability. Many rebounds move too fast, with rushed milestones like declaring love or moving in together within weeks. This speed can create drama, conflict, or even an on-and-off cycle that leaves both partners feeling insecure. Without the stability of genuine emotional readiness, the relationship can't withstand deeper challenges. There's also the issue of comparison. A rebound partner often lives in the shadow of the ex. Sometimes the rebounder constantly brings up their former relationship, whether in subtle comparisons or outright bitterness. Other times they choose someone who is the polar opposite of their ex, almost as if to prove a point. These dynamics can make the rebound feel more like a coping mechanism than a true connection, and the new partner may sense they're being used as a stand-in rather than valued for who they are. Statistics back up just how fragile rebounds can be. Studies show that the average rebound relationship lasts about 5 months, and many don't make it beyond a year. In fact, some breakup coaches estimate that the vast majority eventually fizzle out, simply because they were never built to last. The honeymoon period passes, and the unresolved issues that were being avoided come back to the surface. That's not to say every rebound is doomed. Some evolve into stable, long-term partnerships. But more often than not, rebounds collapse under the weight of unhealed wounds, unrealistic expectations, and emotional baggage that wasn't dealt with before moving on. So, while your ex may look happy in their new relationship today, The deeper reality is often more complicated. What looks like a clean break into a better life can actually be the start of a new emotional struggle, one that surfaces once the illusion of escape fades. Psychological research gives us a clearer picture of what happens when people rebound. Studies show that those who quickly enter new relationships often report some early advantages, like feeling more confident and bouncing back from heartbreak sooner. In some cases, rebounds can even help restore a person's sense of self-worth and ease the process of letting go of an ex. But researchers also emphasize that this kind of recovery is often surface level. Rebounds can mask unresolved issues instead of resolving them. Without genuine reflection, people risk carrying the same emotional baggage into their next relationship. That's why many rebounds are short-lived on average, lasting only a few months before the cracks start to show. Still, not all rebounds are doomed. Some begin casually but grow into meaningful connections once both partners are emotionally ready. The difference lies in whether the rebound is being used as a tool to avoid pain or as an opportunity to genuinely move forward. So, while rebounds may create the appearance of happiness, research suggests true healing requires more than just replacing one partner with another. It takes time, self-awareness, and facing emotions head-on. The difference between genuine happiness and avoidance is, honestly, pretty important to understand. Not all happiness is created equal, especially in the context of rebounds. Psychology shows us that what looks like joy on the surface may actually be avoidance underneath. Genuine happiness comes from growth, from processing grief, learning from the past, and building a healthy connection based on stability and mutual respect. When someone has done that inner work, their new relationship often feels grounded, balanced, and lasting. Avoidance-based happiness, on the other hand, is more fragile. It's driven by distraction, validation, or the need to escape painful emotions. That kind of happiness often depends on external appearances, the smiling photos, the public displays, the fast-forward milestones. It may feel real in the moment, but it tends to collapse once the unresolved feelings resurface. This is why your ex might look ecstatic with someone new while still being far from truly healed. The glow of avoidance fades. Genuine happiness lasts. The challenge is recognizing the difference and remembering that their journey doesn't define your worth or your future. So how can you tell if a rebound is healthy or harmful? Rebound relationships aren't all the same. Some are fleeting distractions, while others have the potential to grow into something more lasting. Psychology offers a few clues that can help tell the difference. A relationship that looks rushed, overly public, or unstable is often a classic rebound. Signs include jumping in immediately after a breakup, flaunting the new partner on social media, or moving through milestones at lightning speed. These patterns suggest the relationship is being used to fill a void or send a message, rather than built on genuine connection. By contrast, a healthier rebound starts more gradually. The new partner isn't treated as a trophy or a shield against loneliness, but as someone worth getting to know. The pace is steady, friends and family see it as natural, and there's little drama. In these cases, what started as a rebound can sometimes evolve into real love. The key difference lies in intent. Is the relationship about healing and moving forward, or about hiding pain and avoiding growth? That question often determines whether the rebound becomes harmful, or has the potential to turn into something meaningful. Now, if your ex looks happy in a rebound, the most important thing to remember is this: their happiness is not your responsibility, nor is it a reflection of your worth. Psychology suggests that the best thing you can do in this situation is focus on your own healing. First, give yourself permission to feel your emotions. It's natural to grieve, to feel hurt, jealous, or even angry. Suppressing those feelings only prolongs the pain. Acknowledge them, but don't let them control your actions. Second, resist the urge to constantly check their social media or compare yourself to their new partner. What you see online is rarely the full truth. Protecting your mental space is one of the healthiest steps you can take. Third, lean into support systems. Friends, family, or even professional help can provide perspective and comfort. Breakups can feel isolating, but you don't have to go through it alone. Finally, remember the no-contact rule. Stepping back from your ex not only protects your emotions but also gives you space to rebuild your identity and confidence. Over time, the focus shifts away from what they're doing and back to what you need for your own growth. At the end of the day, rebounds are their journey. Your journey is about healing, self-respect, and building the future you deserve. Seeing an ex appear happy in a rebound can stir up some of the hardest emotions: jealousy, self-doubt, and grief. But psychology reminds us that appearances don't always tell the full story. What looks like joy on the outside may actually be avoidance or a temporary distraction. Rebound relationships can provide short-term comfort, but they rarely erase the pain of a breakup. Many fade when the initial excitement wears off, while the unresolved issues resurface. In some cases, a rebound can grow into something real, but more often it serves as a coping mechanism rather than a lasting solution. The key takeaway is this: your ex's happiness is not your burden to carry, and it doesn't determine your value. Their choices reflect their coping style, not your worth. What matters most is how you respond, by focusing on your healing, practicing no contact, and giving yourself space to rebuild confidence and clarity. In the end, rebounds may come and go, but your growth and happiness are what will last. Stay patient with yourself, lean on your support, and trust that better days are ahead. Healing is not a race, and your story is far from over. Enjoyed this video? Like the video, comment, and subscribe for more just like it.